So for the Engage for lesson 1, and this would be on page 1 of your book, it's a notice and wonder. So you should have taken a look at it, talked with your partner, and figured out, what do you notice? What do you wonder? And hopefully you noticed a few things. Like, there's different temperatures in each city. There's 2 temperatures in each city. The temperatures have different letters. There's a minus sign on one of the temperatures. The times are different. Okay, things like that. They have different weathers. Okay, and some of the things you might wonder are, what do the temperatures mean? Why isn't it snowing in the colder city? Although it's not snowing here either. But, it's raining. And what is the minus sign there for? Okay, so those are just some of the things you might notice and wonder. I also know you guys, and, some of the things you guys will come up with are, really interesting. And so I'm sorry I'm not there to hear them. Okay, so that's the notice and wonder. Just what do you notice about it? What do you wonder? Now, for activity 1, we're not actually doing it. We're going to skip all the way down to activity 2. Now, this activity starts on page 3. Nope, sorry, page 4. All right. So, here's a table that shows the elevations of various cities. And so it tells us that, we've got the cities and the elevation. The elevation is in feet. Okay. So on the list of cities, which city has the second highest elevation? Well, when we look at it, again, we should take a look and go, what do we notice? What do we wonder? Okay, think about what we saw earlier. We've got some numbers that have negatives. Okay, but then we've got some that are positives. And then we got one rando here that's just 0. Okay. Well, so if we're looking for the second highest elevation, so we're looking for the second biggest number. Well, let's put them in order. Greatest to least, biggest. So 5280 would be the biggest. Boom. Then we've got the only other one in the thousands is 1211. Then we've got 320. And now's where it gets interesting. These negatives. Okay? Because negative 282. 282 is the next biggest number, but it's negative. Okay? So actually the next biggest number is 33. And then 0. And then negative 22. And then negative 282. So, on the list of cities, which city has the second highest elevation? Well, that's the city with 1,211, so Bethel, Indiana. Now, how would you describe the elevation of Coachella, California in relation to sea level? Well, again, we're looking at these positive and negative numbers. And so for Coachella, since it's negative 22, is it above sea level or below sea level? Well, positive would indicate that it's above, and so negative would say it's below. And so it's 22 feet below sea level. And then how would you describe the elevation of Death Valley, California? Again, it's another negative number, so it would be 282 feet below sea level. And so if you're standing on a beach right next to the ocean, what is your elevation? Well, if you're at the beach and right next to the sea level, your elevation would be 0. I'm at sea level. And so then how would you describe Miami? Well, Miami's at 0. So Miami is at sea level. Okay. And question F. A city has a higher elevation than Coachella. Select all numbers that could represent the city's elevation and be prepared to explain. Well, that's one of the reasons I did this. We put them in terms of how, least, greatest to smallest. Well, this is also a list of how far from sea level. So, from here to here is 282 feet. That's 282 feet from sea level. That's 22 feet from sea level. 33 feet from sea level. And so forth. So the farther away you get, then the larger the number is. So if we're talking about Coachella, that's 22 feet from sea level. So this one is less than 22 feet from sea level. So it is less than 22 feet from sea level. And that works for this one as well. this one at sea level, and Coachella is below sea level. And then, of course, this one, because it's above sea level. And Coachella is below sea level. Okay, and so now we look at these tables that show the elevation of the highest and lowest points in the ocean and on the continents. Okay, on land and the lowest in the ocean. All right, sorry. So, which point in the ocean is the lowest in the world? Well, so we're looking at the farthest from sea level. So we're looking for the biggest negative number. And so that's the farthest from sea level. So Mariana Trench negative 11,033 meters. What mountain is the highest in the world? And what is its elevation? So again, we're looking for what is the highest, what is the farthest from sea level. So we're looking for the largest number. So the furthest distance, well, 5,000, 6,000, 5,000, 8,000. So that's Mount Everest. And that's 8,848 meters. If you could plot the elevations of the mountains and the trenches on a vertical number line, what would 0 represent? Well, 0 would be sea level. What would points above 0 represent? Well, anything above 0 would be above sea level. Anything below 0 would be below sea level. Okay, so then which is farther from the sea level, the deepest point in the ocean or the top of the highest mountain? Well, so we're looking at which is farther away, 11,000 meters or 8,000 meters. Well, if it's going to take 11,000 meters to get to sea level, this is only going to take 8,000 meters, so the Mariana Trench. All right, so now let's take a look at sorry. So take a look at the next lesson. Okay. And so again, the engage and lesson 2. Which of these numbers could be B? And so hopefully you took some time to talk with your partner and figure this out, because you shouldn't be watching this video first. You should have tried this on your own. So, since it's between 2 and 3, well, 2/5 is between 0 and 1. Goodbye. It can't be 2/5. Well, it could be 2.5. Well, 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. 25 divided by 10 is 2.5. Now, 2.49, that could very well be true as well, because we don't know if that's 2.5, 2.49, 2.51, etc. We don't have an exact thing. So basically the only one it can't be is B. And so hopefully you were able with your partner to figure that out. Okay. And so that was on page 9. And now we go to activity 2. Now, you're supposed to create a number line of your own. And so following steps 1 and following all the steps on number 1 on page 10, and then you use that number line to answer the questions on number 2. So when you do this, you've got a straight edge. Oh, that's the thickness. All right. I was hoping it would make a straight line. All right, let's see. Do I have a straight line tool? Oh, that apparently straightens. All right, so we've got a number line. Now, you're supposed to be able to draw it so that you're able to mark the middle and label it 0. And then 1 centimeter apart, you make little tick marks. Okay. But you only and so I didn't draw my line long enough, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then so over here, I don't know where those numbers went. See if it stays there this time. Okay, so which number is the same distance away from 0 as the number 4? Well, so we count. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces. So we go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, that's -4. Which number is the same distance away from 0 as the number -7? Well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that's +7. Two numbers that are on this that are the same distance from 0 are on opposite the same distance from 0 on the number line are called opposites. Find another pair of opposites on the number line. Well, this is so many different answers. Okay. And there's 1 and -1, 2 and -2, 3 and -3, and so forth. Okay, determine how far away the number 5 is from 0. Then choose a positive number and a negative number that is each farther away from 0 than is the number 5. Okay. Now, this one doesn't make a lot of sense, but it just means that we want it to be farther away from 0 than the number 5 is. And they don't have to be opposites. Okay, so 5 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 away from 0. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so +6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So -7. Because that's where I ended up over here. Determine how far away the number -2 is from 0. Then choose a positive number and a negative number that is each farther away from 0 than is the number -2. Okay, so same idea. Well, 2 is, let's choose another color. 1, 2 away. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So -4 and 3. Okay. And here's a number line with some points labeled with letters. Determine the location of points P, X, and Y. If you get stuck, you use the tracing paper to fold it up. Okay. So, for this one's a little tricky because of the spacing of the letters rather. Started to pull. A small mistake. All right. Now, okay. So if you were to set your number line on here and measure it out, okay, P is 2 centimeters from 0. So P is at -2. X is 4.5 centimeters from 0. So X is at -4.5. And Y is 7.5 centimeters from 0. So Y is at -7.5. Okay. And so that's everything from the 2 lessons. You've got practice problems that are on Google Classroom for both lessons. So make sure to get those done. Good luck and have a good day.